Hey guys, it's Taku. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I've got us a midsummer manga haul. It's not too much, honestly. I kind of wanted to just get in front of the camera, or I guess get behind the camera for you guys and talk about some of the books that I've been reading and picking up and really thumbing through. I could have saved this all for the end of the summer, but I thought, why not just do it now? Plus, I've been going through some art book stuff lately, so I've got honestly more art book talk in this video than I do about the manga. I apologize if that's not your thing, so you can definitely just like skip that if you don't want to. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the first one is actually not manga or an art book. This is Penguin Highway by Tomihiko Morimi. This is the novel released by Yen Press. And funny thing is I picked this up because I've had the Blu-ray of the Penguin Highway movie sitting on my shelf now for a couple years, and I told myself I did not want to watch it until I read it. And so yeah, finally got a hold of a used copy just off of Amazon, and I am excited to finally read it. I hear it's wackier than you might initially expect, or kind of wackier than the trailer poses. So, and that's going to be right in line with some of the other stuff I've seen by Tomihiko Morimi. So looking forward to that. I've got a few volumes of BL here. We're going to just start with, this is actually a very recent pickup for me. This is Delinquent Daddy and Tender Teacher with story and art by Tama Mizuki. This is released by 7 Seas. And, okay, hear me out, guys. So, this first volume came out, I think last year or maybe even the year before. I don't remember how long they've been starting these. And I kind of wasn't too interested in the premise. It's about these two, I think, used to, or one of them used to have a crush on the other back in high school, and now that, you know, years later, I think this guy is the teacher for his son or something like that, and so they they get a second chance at first love. I'm a bit rambly on it because I actually haven't read it. What prompted me to pick this up was I hear that volume 3 and 4 are actually really good just as a story. And so gotta start with volume 1, right? So I don't really know too much about this other than that it gets really good. This is one, though, that I know is good and I know I like. This is My Summer of You. It's volume 2 of The Summer with You, and this is by Nagisa Furuya. This comes to us by Kodansha, and I love Nagisa Furuya works. I've been kind of collecting them or hauling them as often as I can on the channel. And so this is that I think I told you guys, this was that missing volume 2 that I just completely forgot to pick up because I got all the covers mixed up. So yeah, this one is about a, well, I guess now it is a post-high school romance between two individuals, and they met because of a mutual love for movies. So go check out volume 1 before you get into volume 2, but just know that also it's one of my favorites. Next one I've got is another new release, or new-ish release. This is BL First Crush Anthology, 5 Seconds Before We Fall in Love. This is a collection of a bunch of different works, and yeah, it says collection features 29, oh my gosh, I didn't know there was that many, 29 short boys love stories from a variety of hit artists, including creators of BL Metamorphosis, Manly Appetites, I Think I Turned My Childhood Friend Into a Girl, and more. And I'm familiar with 2 of those titles, but not this other one. So there's a list, it looks like, of all of the authors who contributed to this. And I just thought it was just a really cool idea to get a BL anthology even in the West at all. This was released, I think, in May of 2024, so it is pretty recent, and it comes to us by 7 Seas. So I remember when they announced this, though, I was so hyped for it, and then it took me a little bit to get around to picking it up, but here it is. So I'm hoping that this will be something I can recommend to people as like a launching off point for BL, because it is just a collection of really short works, or even the opposite, maybe those who are feeling out or like burnt out with BL stories. I find that sometimes like something really short with a lot of energy, or even just like a think piece, is like a really good way to kind of palate cleanse. So I will tell you a bit more about it once I've actually read it. The next 6 volumes are from one series, not BL. So this is, oh gosh, this is Dead Dead Demons, Destruction by Inio Asano, and of course released in these signature Viz collections. I love these so much. They're so high quality, and I love the French flaps here. So this is a long time coming. I think during the pandemic, I picked up the first 6 volumes and realized, why haven't I continued with Dead Dead Demons, especially once like the anime got announced? And it's because I read everything that I had and just never picked up the rest. So I got online and just bought the rest of it, read it all. So I can say that I've actually read all of Dead Dead Demons now. Guys, this series is so fun from start to finish. It's bleak at times, but in a way that manages to kind of like wrap back around into the funny. So it doesn't get lost too much in it. One of my favorite thing about owning Dead Dead Demons in person is that each of the volumes, if you've read it, contain a short comic from inside the world of Dead Dead Demons. So his name is Isobeyan, and he's a like little cartoon, or I guess comic character that appears in the story. And so these volumes, in a kind of a meta way, they contain a bit of the comic at the beginning, and there's always someone reading it, and then at the end you always have to go back to find out how it like finishes. They're short, they're punchy, they're funny. I think the drawings are also so goofy. You can see it's monopolizing on this real old school like newspaper style of comic. And so this is volume, I didn't say, this is 7, this is 8. Here's volume 9. I love this cover so much, by the way, with the 2 main characters on it. But, oh, this story, oh, I just love all of it. I love all of it to pieces. But this cover is also so goofy with Anton there. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I don't want to like get into the spoilers. Usually there's Isobeyan's gimmick is that he's got kind of gadgets from the future or another world, and he's always giving them to the main character Deboko to make her life better. And of course, it always falls flat on her. It always backfires. And so every comic kind of introduces a new device, and you get to see in a way how the comic presented at the beginning in a way becomes an episode that mirrors the actual volume itself. It's just really cool, and that's why I like to own this one rather than reading it digitally. There's something about physically holding the Isobeyan comic at the beginning and kind of working your way through it, especially with the way it segues to the other characters reading it. So this was 11, this is 12, the final volume. So good. I had so much fun with this one, and it's definitely a keeper. So yeah, go check out Dead Dead Demons. And there's an anime airing right now. If you are watching the anime, you'll probably know that like the episode 0 or whatever has like a lot of spoilers. It like jumps way ahead. So if you're wanting to watch it personally, skip to episode 1. I'm just going to say that. The next I've got is a few more volumes, just patching the holes of my collection. I think I even talked about these. This is Naoko Takeuchi's Sailor Moon. This is the missing volume 7 and 8. So I think my last manga haul, I showed you guys that I do have all of Sailor Moon now in these really large Kodansha Eternal editions. I love these so much, by the way. And I was missing 7 and 8. So I'm currently on volume 6 or almost done with volume 6. So I'll be going into 7 very soon and then hopefully finishing it up probably this summer. But yeah, it's just, this is the rest of Sailor Moon. Well, not the rest of it, but it's the pieces that are missing. And it seems like I never thumb through the pages enough. And partially because I don't want to like spoil, but I do want to also show you guys like the quality of this publication, because these are really nice. I quite like these. And then here is volume 8 right here with Chibiusa on the front. And here's the back. And I like how the inside papers, the end papers, match the kind of covers on the front. It's all the little details, you know. And this is a high gloss paper. It's a very good quality stock. It will last you years, I guarantee you. So there's that, all of Sailor Moon. But actually, if I can bring Sailor Moon back on stage for one more thing. Ta-da! So this is now the art book portion of the video. If you're not into art books, honestly stick around because I think these are really cool. And art book collecting has been something I've been doing for years in small amounts, and it's been picking up like an avalanche. So this is Sailor Moon Raisonné. This is the artwork collection from 1991 to 2023. And this is, of course, Naoko Takeuchi's art. So this is an import. This is not a US release. I'm assuming this is going to get licensed eventually in the West. But for now, this was an import. And the gold is so pretty. I love this soft gold on the inside. It's the same on the back. So I'm going to talk a little bit as I go through some of this. Because again, I think I want to do a little bit more showing of these art books. So especially if you're interested in picking them up. This is, I think, her like newest pieces. These came out, I think it was an exhibition or maybe just the release of this book. I know the art on the front is new for this book. But yeah, there are critiques about the collection, this art book collection, and I think you might already be noticing some of them. Maybe not, I don't know. And the common complaint is, you know, for being in a way a definitive collection, the art is so small. Like none of these, very few of these actually get like a full blown up page for them. And I get that. That would be frustrating. Like just up the page count and give us bigger art pieces. Like some of these are like, you know, relatively small. And this book is the same size as the Eternal editions. In fact, let me bring that back onto the stage. Yeah, you can see they're about the same height, which means they look really nice together on a shelf because, well, yeah, they're about the same height. And this one's by Kodansha as well. There. So I'm guessing Kodansha in the US will eventually release this, but I wanted it early. And yeah, it's you know, it's got all the artwork. It looks gorgeous. Some people were also saying that some of the colors have been tampered with. I can't remember if the saturation was increased or decreased, or maybe the brightness was increased or decreased. This one is absolutely stunning, by the way. Really, it evokes that 90s Sailor Moon. But as someone who doesn't own any Sailor Moon art books and only owns the Eternal editions as my kind of way to get this art, this is nice to have it all in one. I think I even showed this exact shot from a volume in my previous haul, but it's kind of miniaturized on here. I get it. I see why fans were kind of upset. But if you would like a more in-depth art look at this, I'm sure people have already released it online. This one is stunning too. This is the I think it's the Luna chapter. Yeah, if you want a more in-depth look at it, let me know. I might come back on here and do a thorough flip through. I think a long time ago I had printed this one off because I liked it so much. I'm sure otherwise though someone's probably already gone on and done that for us. So really good and amazing. And again, if you don't have any Sailor Moon art book, this is definitely the place to start. But I know there are other art books. These were the old manga covers, by the way. If I can nerd out for just a second. And then with the release of the Eternal editions, here's the newly commissioned art, which I quite love. I love how dramatic it is. I also love how the planet shape always appears without fail, kind of in these backgrounds. The corresponding planet. So, or astral body. And these are also relatively new. So yeah, it goes all the way up through 2023, and it's a 2024 release, I believe. So yeah, some of these you might even have seen on social media. These are all, looks like, kind of by season, or by arc, I guess. So there's Dark Kingdom, here's the Black Moon, here's Deathbusters, here's Dead Moon, and then here's the finale. So love it, love it, love it. It's got some Sailor V stuff at the end. This was, I believe, Chanel. I think this is the Chanel It's also like kind of going into that like most recent Sailor Moon art. So they stuck it at the end. So yeah, if you own nothing, I mean, I get why the people were kind of mixed on it, but I like it. I think it's quite nice. So that's the first art book. I'll go a little faster on these next ones, or I will try to. So this next one is another import. I think all of these are actually imports. This is the art book for the recent movie that came out on, well, it was released on Netflix, but it's Maboroshi by director Mari Okada. And if I can take this off, yeah. It's a lot of the, this is a backgrounds art collection. So it's a lot of the scenery, because I love the scenery in this movie. I was kind of obsessed with the way it looked, more than the execution of some of the elements. So, oh no, the lighting's really awful. Look how, that is instantly I am transported to this industrial kind of setting. And the setting of this story is really cool. Without giving it away, it's set in a town. I think it's a mining town or mining village. It's very small. I think it's also looks like it's by a port. So there is all of the industrial complex stuff. But this mix of blue and green and yellow and brown to create this really complex background. So many layers to it also. I just love it. I love it so much. And the countryside details are also nice. You can tell it's quite rural in its setting. This is the main character's bedroom that you see at the beginning of the movie. And they revisit it a couple times. All the details, though, are so unique and wacky. And, I mean, for lack of better words, like, kind of real. This is a difficult book to show on camera because of the shape of it. But let me try to thumb through some of this a bit better. I don't want to show everything because that would take too long. This looks like the school. Because, of course, it's anime, so it's got to have a school. Let's get to... Where's the interesting stuff? Here we go. Yeah, the industrial complex. Because a lot of the movie is set here. And the characters really interact with the environment in a way that I just haven't seen in a movie. Like, in a movie, like, recently. I love it. It's so creative. It's so creative and fun. And I apologize if in the background you hear there's like construction work going on down my street. Yeah. So there's no character designs in this book. It's all just going to be background art. And I think there's a couple interviews at the end. Oh, I don't want to spoil you guys on some of that stuff. It gets a little supernatural. There is a scene outside of a convenience store. If you know, you know. Let me just say that. Yeah. So you can watch it, I think, on Netflix or, you know, just like wherever you decide to watch your films. It's not licensed yet for release in the US, but I wanted to pick this up because it's very rare that background art books get releases. So that was this one, kind of a one-off, because I don't own all of, you know, these like films. I kind of hit the ones that I like. It's very rare that I get 100% on a certain director. Oh, this is the next one. This is a Yuri on Ice. This is the select book. So, okay. A while back, I made a video about how Mappa has canceled the movie, obviously, and I'm going back and buying up a lot of the Yuri on Ice art books, CDs, things like that, even like getting old copies of the DVDs and Blu-rays and importing those. And the select book is like the book to get if you want a Yuri on Ice like art book. It's very thick, it's quite comprehensive, and it goes episode by episode. This is just one big flap. Oh my gosh, the construction's so bad, guys. I'm sorry. And it's let me just show you. Let me show you, because this thing is just incredible. I mean, it's like a full book. It's got storyboards in it too for a lot of the episodes. So these are the Grand Prix final, kind of the mock-up, and then the final. I believe these are what's showed on the monitors. So they've made, of course, like kind of official looking art for it. Yeah, because I don't think these are actually animated. I think these show up on the monitors, but I could be wrong. Banquet. So Yeah, let me skip past some of these. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Vitya and Vichan. And of course, promotional artwork that you guys may have seen before. Here is a little Hasetsu moment outside. And then over here, character designs for many of the characters. Opening kind of key shots and animations and frames. This book has a lot of Ganga in it. These are like the smaller versions. You'll see fuller ones later. Here's the ending theme. So you only live once, right? And then, yeah, it gets into a lot of key animation. And it goes episode by episode. So this is all episode 1 stuff. Episode 2 and the duel against Yuri and Yuri. In episode 3, here's episode 4 with Minami. Yeah. Here's starting to get introduced some of the other characters. So there's a lot in here. So for it to go kind of in this timeline order, I really actually like this. Because then you can kind of thumb through it and it feels like you're re-experiencing the series. Do you guys hear that? Every single truck is out on this street. I tell ya. Busy. But I love these Ganga illustrations. These are just some of the coolest things to have, especially for like a full series. So here's all the wonderful stuff at the end, and then here's some animation techniques and explanations, as well as, if I can get to it, because this was a nice touch. Yay! Post-series artwork. In fact, I think I might have skipped some of it. Or maybe that was it. There was another one in here. Guys, this book is so massive. But yeah, Yuri on Ice Select Book. You can still get a few copies of this floating around the internet. So go hunt this down if you are a Yuri on Ice person. If Yuri on Ice is your thing. The last 3 here that I have are all from the same kind of title. I'm so excited to show these. Okay, this is Ghost in the Shell's continuity script. Of course, this is the 1995 film directed by Mamoru Oshii. And a continuity script is the then term used for storyboard. We use storyboard nowadays, but continuity script is sometimes what you'll find it as. I think also sometimes the difference between the two is the continuity script also does contain more like script details, whereas sometimes the storyboard is just the shots. So this was a used book. It's very old, and I was happy to get it in basically any condition that I found, and I didn't pay too much for it, so $25 or $30 maybe. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'm surprised I never did own this already, especially with how much I love Ghost in the Shell, how much I love this 1995 film. I have literally, like, in high school art classes, like, redrawn the storyboards in like a full like paper sized and like framed them and everything. It was so fun to do. But yeah, now owning this book, I'm able to sit here and study kind of, yeah, step by step how some of this is done. And when I show you the next book, it's just even more insane. So storyboard book, if you kind of know what storyboards are, it's just each individual shot with its directions. So basically, you'd be able to kind of recreate this if you had all the technical know-how. So fantastic. Again, I don't know why I didn't have this, honestly, but this is if you're wanting to kind of get on a story level with it. And this next book, I have to get it, sorry. This next book I want to show you is for more of like the traditional art book path. So this is the Ghost in the Shell Archives. This was released as part of the kind of anniversary project. So it's a tall book. I'm trying to get it in the shot for you guys. Yeah, it's part of the 25th anniversary, I think. So it's not the newest thing. It's been out for a little while. But again, why didn't I own this? I don't know. And this one's interesting because they've got it divided into 9 different sections for arguably the 9 most like kind of important scenes. It covers almost the whole movie. There's a couple of shots that would be missing, but yeah, it has lots of Ganga in it, and some of it is more the in between stuff. But this is the dive from the building. The second part is the shelling sequence, which is the opening, and it's just mind-blowing to look at, like, the flesh kind of tearing up and how it floats to the ceiling. Like, I'm just in awe at this every single time. Whenever I watch the movie, because I recently did rewatch it, I wonder, how has Ghost in the Shell lasted as long as it has and looks as good as it has? And so, aside from having a good story backbone and good direction and music and sound, it does have good animation. And it's not that I often forget that, but when you sit down and really break it down to a, layer by layer, it's like, yeah, what a good looking movie. This is the stuff that stands the test of time. So if you're wanting more of like an art, and I actually own a giant poster of this image that's like a finalized kind of version of it, but here's where the plane would go through. Yeah. Oh, here's the water fight. So I'm surprised I didn't own these, honestly, sooner, because I do have a couple of Ghost in the Shell art books already, but never this one. So yeah, it's got all of it. And again, I want to show you guys a little bit more just to make this more with your time. But if you want a more in-depth look, please just let me know. It's the tank battle at the end. Yeah, it's iconic. What can I say? What can I say? So I have one more for you guys. One more art book. It is kind of the ones I own, the one I'm most excited for, because it's so hard to find. It took me forever to hunt this down and get a copy of it. This is a Ghost in the Shell Innocence art book. Ghost in the Shell 2, also directed by Mamoru Oshii. This thing is impossible to find. Let me preface with that. I had to find a seller on Mercari who had it. Like, I would go on the internet in general, and even then it sometimes just wouldn't even pull up as even in archives. Like, I don't even want to buy it at that point. I just want to know, was this a book that existed? So if you guys know how to hunt for art books in a way that is more productive than what I do, let me know in the comments, because I'm definitely in it. It's called, though, it's a movie film file, but they also call it a Roman album in Japan. I don't know why it has the name Roman album. The first few kind of opening pages are in color, and they're just more or less screen grabs from the series. Sorry, from the movie. And once you get into, there's a lot more than I thought. But it's, oh my gosh. Concept photography, are you kidding me? So these are some of the scouting locations and images that were used as reference in Ghost in the Shell 2. And let me preface also by saying I'm excited for this book in particular because Ghost in the Shell 2 is an overwhelming movie to watch. It has so much detail going on in it. It's got lots of kind of cloud coverage that rolls in, lots of fog, lots of CG also happening, and it's just a very visually complex movie, on top of the story and sound also being complex. So yeah, and complex in terms of just the way everything's layered. It's overstimulating at times. I mean, the parade scene in this movie is just, it's wild. So this has background artwork, the concept photography, character designs, weapon design, mechanical design, dogs, lots of basset hounds. And I don't know how else to find this kind of book or this production, this kind of a production diary, I guess, in a way. It seems like the only other Ghost in the Shell 2 art book that I could find was something that was released with the original DVD. So these are creator interviews here. And if I can skip ahead. Do you guys hear that beeping? Oh my god, construction is awful. I'll more or less skip ahead. Mechanical design, just the breakdown of all of it though. Again, it's a crazy movie, and it's one of my favorites. And I recently got to see it in theaters thanks to G-Kids, and that was a wild experience on the big screen. This movie is just it's so mystifying. It's so rewarding in a way to follow it up, because as a sequel, it does so many unique things while also still maintaining a continuity. So I think we're out of the clear at the construction in the background. But I'm just very excited to own this book, and it's also massive. I'm flipping through it pretty quickly. And if you would like an in-depth look at this one, please let me know. I will do a video on especially this book, because yeah, you can't find anything. I tried every search I could. I tried Roman album, I tried film file, and finally I found a listing on Mercari, tried to pick it up. Then the seller messaged me like, hey, actually, I don't have this anymore. So it was a whole thing. But eventually I hunted down another one on Mercari, and so I'm like, Mercari for the win, honestly. And I got a very reasonable deal for this very out of print, hard to find book. So again, unless I'm just bad at searching for things. At the very end, you'll find a longer interview with the director himself. My life as a dog. And I will eventually sit around and kind of use my phone to translate this and read through it. But this is, as far as I can tell, this is the best art book to find for this movie. This hard to find art book. So, guys, this was everything. I've been really excited to share this video because the art books have been, these are some of my favorite pieces of entertainment like ever. All of it is art. I think I'm only going to be able to fit the art books in this, even though it's a manga haul. But guys, let me know what you think about any of the manga titles that I've been picking up, or about any of these art books. So love to hear your thoughts. Or if you want to hear more art book things in general, I have more videos coming with some of my favorite near and dear franchises and titles, even more than these. Well, we're already hitting the top of the top for me. But if you want to have more of this stuff, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next manga haul, if you're watching this for the manga, probably near the end of the summer, maybe even early into the fall. So thank you so much for watching, and till next time.